So now I want to open it up for questions. Are there any questions out there? Or did we cover everything? Oh, okay.
Hi, my name is Vera, and I'm a communications major with a concentration in PR. And in regards to sort of engaging in a two-way conversation with your customers and your fans, I know Dave was saying how that sort of helps evolve like TheFind, so whoever your users are, you're kind of catering to them. But with a brand, so I guess this question is like sort of for Jennifer, with a brand that has like a really distinct image, how do you take those two-way conversations and sort of not necessarily cater to your customers, but how do you not lose sight of what your image is of the brand? You know, like, do you find yourself like steering away from what your ideas are because you want to please your fans?
That's a really great question. We don't steer away from who we are because our brand identity is very important to us, but our fans' ideas and their personal style is also part of who we are. So, for example, I mean, we want them to express how they feel about a product and how they wear it, and you know what their feelings are on it. So they can express it through various mediums in terms of like, you know, they post Twitter pics of how if they want to wear a bag like crossbody, or if they want to wear it as a clutch, or you know, somebody sent us a message the other day saying that they took the strap off of one of our Chigger moto clutch and wore it as a belt. And you know, we post all of that because we think it's so interesting, and we love to hear the creative ways that our fans and you know the Botkier girl and the community is incorporating Botkier into their wardrobe and their personal style. And I think that our fans really like to hear it as well. So it just is part of us.
Are there any other questions?
I have a question for the brands up there, because I think there were a lot of questions asked to some of the bloggers that are really well known in terms of how they like to be worked with. But I also know that there are a lot of bloggers that are on the rise and they like to work with brands like yours. How would you like to be approached, and how do you make the decision on who to work with all the bloggers looking to collaborate with you, even though they may not be as well known, they may not have been featured in magazines at this point?
Well, I can say from the ModCloth perspective, I mean, we are an indie brand. We've grown a lot, absolutely, in the last 7 years, but we're still very small in comparison to a lot of the brands out there. So we absolutely want to support up-and-coming bloggers. I mean, like, we've been there ourselves, you know, it's like packing orders in the basement. So I totally understand what it's like to just be starting out and, you know, to be making a voice heard. For us, it's really, you know, is it brand appropriate? Is this someone that we see our customers relating to? And a lot of that is, do we relate to them? A huge part of the ModCloth team is we are our customers. We're, you know, women in our demographic and psychographic. We love the clothes. We wear them all the time. So we really just think, you know, is this something that we're interested in? Is this something that we like? You know, even if a blogger doesn't have a huge reach yet, you know, we still think that if they're brand appropriate, if it is something that resonates with us, and you know right away. I mean, you look at something, it's your gut instinct, you know, is this something that's right or not? And yeah, I mean, we think it's really important to support other like independent artists, other independent people in fashion, and let them, you know, if we can help them extend their voice, then that's even better.
I would just encourage anybody who's interested, you know, whatever level they're at, to reach out to someone at the brand that they would like to work with. I think that the brands are a lot more open than the community realizes, and especially if it's the right fit. I think like anything else, it's all about relationship building, and you know, if there is an opportunity for us to do something or collaborate in some way, we're definitely open to it.
And I'll just speak from my experience at Teen Vogue. Is I learned about most blogs through people submitting photos to Teen Vogue. So many of my favorite sites were things that have been submitted. So you know, do it, because like they want to see you and they want to know about everything that's out there. And you know, I have a huge Google RSS feed, but it doesn't have everything. So like, you know, put yourself out there. It's definitely worth it.
Agreed.
Hi. I want to know how open the brands are to receiving requests and inquiries from more international-based stylists. I run a blog, Okara Daily, and a lot of the people I work with and feature aren't based in New York or even in the US. They're based in the Caribbean, they're probably in Africa, in London, and they really want to interact with your brands. And sometimes they feel like they're out of the loop because they're not in New York, they're not at New York Fashion Week, and they're not even coming here frequently. So are you guys open to working with more people from the international community who are interested in your brands and in style?
Yeah, we definitely are. I mean, we do ship internationally, so we are, you know, if our customers are there, we're interested in working with bloggers there. It's absolutely something that we're interested in. I mean, we aren't based in New York either. We're actually based in Pittsburgh. Isn't as far as the Caribbean, but still, I mean, it's Pittsburgh isn't really known for its fashion. So yeah, I mean, we're absolutely interested in that.
I totally agree. I don't see any differentiation between someone who's a blog that's based in New York or a blog that's based in the Caribbean. I think it's more about creative ideas and, you know, ways to collaborate and seeing if it's a good fit more than anything.
Yeah, the internet has broke down all boundaries. It really just sometimes comes down to if you can do international shipping.
Any other questions? Oh, back there.
With everything that's happening online with social media, what's the value of place, and how does social media play at place?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
I missed that as well, sorry.
Like having a physical location?
Right, having a physical location. So you have brands that want you to become fans of their Facebook page, but there's no connection to them being a fan when they come into the store. Like, how does social media start to play in the physical world?
I can say that's not something that we really think about because we are online only. So it's something that, you know, we're kind of like, we have our blinders on. We're like, we're online. We're going to do online the best we can. We're going to brainstorm and, you know, figure out new ways and better ways to connect to our customers. I mean, it seems like Best Buy has done a good job at that. That's the first company that comes to mind that has a strong social presence that also kind of incorporates that in their store. But they are, you know, they're tech, so you can actually go in the store and find the gadgets that you can tweet on and et cetera. But I don't know, anyone else?
So I don't have any perspective on that necessarily from the brand side, but from a marketing side, I'm in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco area, and there's a site called Yelp that I'm not sure how big it is out here on the East Coast. That's very big. So Yelp has done a really good job of reaching out to individual store owners and giving them decals and saying things like, "People love me on Yelp." So it creates that tie-in from their reviews on Yelp to the physical location. And I can also see brands doing things like offering, you already see this a lot. I became a fan of J. Crew the other day, just solely because somebody told me if you become their fan, they'll send you some coupon, something or another, right? And I was like, does that really work? Are they really going to do that? And they did. They sent me some discount offer. So taking that a step further, you could easily say, come into my store and bring this something, and you're tying it in. So you're driving offline usage, which, by the way, is a huge opportunity in e-commerce. Something like 95% of dollars spent on retail are still offline. So we're only getting about 4 to 5% online. So to the extent of you can help brands to drive offline sales, they're going to love you for it. So I would think if you guys have ideas of how to work with brands in that manner, they would be open to hearing that as well.